Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys Call of Duty Spawn and Tactical Spawn. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collecting.
And if you like my content, please consider subscribing.
Alright, I don't know anything about this crossover because I don't play Call of Duty, but what I'm assuming is going on here is that Spawn is now a playable character in the new Call of Duty game that just came out. I'm assuming that's what's going on here, but I don't really know. Just taking a look at the package here, it does look like this particular Spawn, the regular Spawn, comes with a lot of the weapons that we saw in the first McFarlane Toys weapons pack, which we're going to be taking a look at this as well to see if any of these weapons fit these figures better than the ones that they come with. But we look like it looks like we have a pretty standard Spawn here. It looks like we have a cloth wired cape. Has the Spawn logo, Call of Duty logo right there, and then on the back all we get is a little picture of Spawn. So that's nice. And then, of course, we get the logos down there. 22 points of articulation. Over here, we have the one that I'm looking most forward to. This is the Tactical Spawn. You know, at the end of the day, if this isn't a really cool Spawn figure that I can throw on my shelf, I think I could probably always customize this into some sort of Punisher. We have some headsets, some extra weapons here, and we're going to see if any of these are the same weapons from the weapons pack. It does say Tactical Spawn, and then here on the back we have a different piece of artwork for Spawn that's on the other than from the first release. So let's get these two clamshells opened up, try our best not to cut our hands, and see what these guys have to offer. Okay, starting off with the regular Spawn and the stuff he comes with. He does come with your standard McFarlane Toys style base with a single foot peg. He does come with a card, you know, just like the DC Multiverse figures come with a, you know, little write-up here on the back for Spawn. If you want to pause that and read it, feel free. He does come with a lot of weapons, and a lot of these weapons seem very familiar. So I think they all are from the munitions pack, but we do have this very large machine gun here. It's got a little bit of a warp to it, and so I'm probably going to have to heat that up and kind of flatten it back down. No magazines drop out or anything. They're just painted red, but that is a very familiar weapon there. Let's see here. We're going to save that one for last because I have a comment about it. We have like this M16 style weapon here with the red stock and the red magazine, and then we have this extra large machine gun here. Not that much of a curve to it. Again, the magazines don't drop out. It is painted red. And then we do have this grenade launcher that also has like a red stock on the end and a red grip. But then we have this AK-47 with a brown handle, like a brown stock. I don't know why they didn't paint this red like they did the rest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly why they did that. And let me get the munitions pack opened up, because I did want to show off that these are quite a few weapons from the munitions pack here. This is that weapon right there. Let's see here. This weapon is that weapon right there. We still have that same AK-47 from right there. The M16 is from right there. And this is not included. I don't see this included in the munitions pack, so this is the only weapon that we got that's not in that munitions pack. I just realized that I said that the grenade launcher was not in the pack, but it's right there. I don't know why my old brain didn't see it, but it's literally right there. So sorry about leaving that out. All right, and then here is Spawn himself, straight out of the package, just standing straight up and down on the turntable. And you know, I'm happy to see that we're getting a cloth cape. I'm happy to see that we're getting some wired edges on the cape. That's nice. There's still some weirdness going on with it, and we're going to talk about that. You could probably see what I'm going to say here already. with the way it's cut. But then there is the figure itself, which looks really nice. It's got this nice texture all the way over that reminds me of the suit in the very first Spawn live action movie. If we'll ever see another live action Spawn with Jamie Foxx, who knows? We always keep hearing that it's in the works, but who knows if it'll ever actually happen. But yeah, this is what the figure looks like in 360, just on the rotating base. Let's get him off and take a closer look at the detail on this guy. All right, so starting off, looking at the Spawn figure head to toe, the cape is just loose. It's like a loose piece. You can actually pull it off altogether, which I think we probably will, just for the review, and then we'll put it back on in a little bit. But as you can see, there is all of this sort of sculpted detail all over the suit, like it's sort of like the Venom suit. From the Venom movies, but you can see, yeah, it's very reminiscent of the live action suit. From the live action Spawn. This chest belt piece here is not two separate belts. It's just one belt that's made in this cross pattern. Looks like these are all shotgun shells. And he wasn't given a shotgun. So that's interesting. So you can see the pinned arms, pinned knees, and then the asymmetry here with the red bands and the spikes. We have the separate soft piece here that's glued right here at the waist. We do have some. We're going to go over articulation in a minute, but I'm just trying to line that up right there. We have a little drop leg pouch right here. That is this glued in? Yeah, it's glued in on the pouches. The band, the strap is not. It would have been nice to see a little bit of silver right there. That would have been kind of cool. And then the asymmetry down here at the feet with the bands as well. As far as articulation goes, old Spawn can only look up about that far, can look down about that far, has a little bit of tilt and wobble to it, which is nice. The arms can go out and hit that T-pose, no problem. Let's see if we've got some like a little hidden butterfly joint in here. So you can get a little bit of range of motion this way. Even though he has a butterfly joint, he's not really going to be able to get over and cross over his chest any. Let's see, we do have upper bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows right there, so he can bend about that far, which is not bad at all. That's pretty good. The hand is on a swivel hinge little joint here, so you can get all kinds of range of motion there. Let's see, with the torso and the waist, he can crunch forward about that far. He can lean back about that far, which is really good. You don't get too much of a gap there. He can rotate all the way around. He could rotate 360 if you wanted him to. There is no drop down on the leg. There is no thigh cut. And there's minimal swivel at the top on that little ball joint. Leg can only go forward about that far, can go all the way out to the side, so that's nice, and can go back about that far. He does have the double jointed knees, can go back that far, which is nice, so you could probably get him in some nice jumping poses. We do have a hinge, swivel, and rocker down on the feet. So he's a pretty well articulated figure. Now we have this cape. So let's kind of talk about that. I like the wired edge. That's nice. But then they cut it right here. So like if you bend it out, the cape is still going to fall down. So it's kind of like this wire is kind of useless. I just don't know. I don't understand the decisions that sometimes are made over at McFarlane Toys. I don't really know. Let's see here. As far as, let's see, is there some wire up here? There is no wire. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, there is wire right here in the collar, which is nice. So you can, it does keep it kind of standing up. But, the wire is not affixed anywhere, right? So like if, you pull it up, it's going to stay here, but this just kind of flops around because it's not really like in his chest or in his shoulder. So it's not going to, stay like that. It's always going to kind of fall down. It really needs to be fixed to the collarbone or, right around in here. I don't know. Maybe they were giving you the option of having the cape on or off, and that's why they didn't affix it to the body. I'm not sure. But, that is a pretty stiff wire in there. But if the cape wasn't so cut up and it was affixed to the body, this would be a really nice gauge wire to hold up this cape. The cape is nice. It does have a nice texture to it. It looks really cool. It's got some dirt and it's got a little bit of a wash to it. So it does look tattered and old. So it's a nice looking cape, but functionally, it's just not a very nice functioning cape. Next up, we have Tactical Spawn. Again, he comes with this really nice card. And then I think that's the same write-up that was on the back of the other card. Yeah, it's the exact same write-up. And then, of course, we do have the exact same base with the nice Spawn logo and a single peg there for the foot. And let's see, for the accessories here, we get this Uzi, which is included in the munitions pack. All of these weapons are. We get this kind of a sci-fi looking pistol here, which is also in the munitions pack. And then we get this rocket launcher, which was also in the munitions pack as well. And then, like the AK-47, we get a pistol with a brown handle. And this long pistol, which I'm not sure if it's playable in the game or not, but this is also in the munitions pack as well. But the one thing that he gets that's not in the munitions pack is this little headset, and I think this is really cool. It looks nice. It's very well, sculpted and detailed, and that's really neat. And here he is standing straight up and down on the rotating base. And like I thought, this is going to be my favorite of the two Spawn Call of Duty designs. I like the more tactical approach here. I like that he doesn't come with a cape, but we still get that red with the bandana around his neck, which looks really nice. There's a lot of webbing and a lot of gear and a lot of stuff sculpted onto him, which is really nice. For the most part, it looks like this is the exact same, like, head sculpt, chest, upper arms, probably abdomen, and then upper legs with newly sculpted like lower arms, or maybe at least it's the armor that's on them, different hands, and then boots for feet. So a lot of reuse here with the body, which is fine, and then some nice new parts. And you know what? That green, that pop of green on his chest with the with all of the gear and the webbing on there, I think that looks really neat. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't. It doesn't look out of place or anything with this character adding green to it. You would think typically, I know he has neon green eyes in the comic, but, this more realistic approach, this more grounded, more modern military approach really works for this particular character. And whether or not he's in Call of Duty, if this was a version of Spawn that showed up in the comic books, I would be okay with it. Okay, taking a closer look at Spawn himself up close and personal. Like we said before, this is the exact same head. As you can see, the shoulders are sculpted in the same way. This is the same buck where, they're getting some reuse out of this. The scarf is a loose secondary piece, so I guess if you did want to pop the head off and take this off, you could. It is very soft and rubbery. And then you have the soft overlay with the armor here and his gear. Lots of magazines, lots of ammo right here. We have a little knife sculpted, and that little handle is rubber, so it's not going to break off. We do have a little drop leg holster here for one of the pistols. Looks like we have some knives sculpted onto his back. Of course, they're not removable. You can see how that web gear, very intricate. Not a lot of paint apps on it, but it is very nicely sculpted. And then we get this really nice Spawn patch on his shoulder, which is really cool. And then we get, this is just secondary armor. Like, this could actually come off. It's rubber. You could probably pop the hand off and take this off. So it looks like the arm is the same as the first figure, head to toe. The armor for the legs is not connected, which is really cool. It just looks like it is, so that's not going to hinder movement. So it'll probably articulate the same way as the first figure. We've got some knee pads down here as well, and the lower legs are different because this piece right here is not separate. That is actually sculpted on. And then you've got the boots, so you can see how they are sculpted up higher, and then there's a break for the articulation point. For the articulation, I'm sure he's going to articulate much like the first one. He can only look up about that far. We know that that scarf's not really hindering anything because the figure before couldn't really articulate up. Head can look down that far. Arms have no problem getting in that T-pose. Again, the armor looks connected, but it's actually not, so you can go all the way around. You've got that butterfly joint that doesn't seem to want to move the same way the other one did. There we go. I had to like kind of break it in a little bit. There it is. It's moving. You've got that upper bicep swivel, double jointed. That rubbery armor is not really getting in the way. So you can bend that far. It got the same hinge and swivel joint on the wrist. Now, as you would imagine, you're not going to get that same crunch going forward. He can only bend forward about that far and then bend back about that far. Again, with the legs, he can go forward that far, still go all the way out to the side, no problem, can go back that far. The legs don't really feel hindered at all. Double jointed knees can still go back about that far. And then you've got the hinge, swivel, and rocker down below. And it's not like a true butterfly. You know how they do. It's kind of like a cuff. This little cuff piece goes around the hinge joint. So it's not a true butterfly. It just kind of hides the joint when it moves around. But like I thought it would be, this is my favorite of the two. So there we have it. We have both spawns up on the rotating base, and they do look really nice. I do prefer the tactical version, especially with that headset a little bit more. I think he looks nice. I'm not the world's biggest Spawn fan, but I do like his character design enough to have several Spawns in my toy collection. So, when I saw these on shelves, I was like, you know what? I think I really want them. I think I really want to get them. I still have my original very first Spawn toy ever released from Todd Toys. And so, I'm a longtime Spawn. I appreciate Spawn. I've appreciated it for a very long time, but I'm just not the world's largest Spawn fan. But I do like these two figures. If you saw them both on the shelf, I think probably the tactical Spawn would be the way to go. He's just a lot more fun. Although the weapon choices that the first Spawn, the normal Spawn, comes with, I think is a little bit better. If you buy both of these sets, you will end up with 9 of the weapons that actually come in the munitions pack. And in the munitions pack, there's 17 weapons. So you will end up with about half of the weapons that come in that pack if you don't mind them having a little splash of red. But, maybe even some silver dry brushing would help bring out some of the details on those weapons. So anyway, I just want to say a very happy Thanksgiving to everybody this year. Thanks for, I'm super thankful for all the new subs and all the views and all the comments you guys give me. It is just absolutely overwhelming and appreciated, and I am super thankful for it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I super appreciate it. Please continue to check us out over at Instagram and at Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I am your Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark, and I will see you in the toy aisles.